There are so many problems in this current Liverpool system, but this draw against Leeds showed something interesting. If we fix just one of those issues, this season could look very different. Definitely not the best way to start the new year, is it? And yeah, Happy New Year by the way. Now look, we struggle to build up from deep when teams press us. Our defensive structure is shaky most of the time, and we literally just sacked our set-piece coach because we could not defend them to save our lives. All of that matters. But the biggest issue, the one that has hurt us the most and played a huge role in our poor results, is without a doubt our play in the final third. We can all agree that yesterday's game was hard to watch. That draw made a lot of sense because we simply did not do enough to win it. But believe it or not, we actually thought parts of that first half were good enough. Not perfect, not amazing, but there were moments where things worked. Now before you start booing us, just give us a chance to explain what we saw. Who knows, we might even change your mind by the end of this. So make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and let's jump straight into it. The starting lineup was pretty much what we expected, with only a few small changes from the Wolves game. Alisson stayed between the posts as usual. The back line was Andrew Robertson, Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate, and Connor Bradley. In midfield, Ryan Gravenberch, Curtis Jones, and Dominic Szoboszlai got the nod. Up front, Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, and Hugo Ekitike were trusted to lead the attack. When the game started, we immediately saw something we really liked, and it's something we already talked about after the Wolves game. That idea is getting our most technical players close to each other so they can combine and break down low blocks. That is exactly what we saw when Wirtz, Jones, and Hugo moved closer together to link up. You can see it in this sequence. Jones plays a nice back heel into Wirtz, and Wirtz then finds Hugo with a clever reverse pass. From there, the Frenchman drives forward and actually puts Leeds under some pressure. This is the kind of football we want to see more of because it pulls defenders out of position and creates space. The problem comes right after that. When Szoboszlai gets the ball in this moment, he has the option to keep that combination going by linking up with Gravenberch. Instead, he chooses to go backwards and plays it to Bradley. Bradley then moves the ball out wide to Frimpong, and suddenly the attack loses its edge and ends up in a much less threatening area. In that same sequence, Szoboszlai gets on the ball again, and this time you can clearly see Robertson making a run into the box. It is a good run, and it is timed well. Zobo has a few clear options here. He could have put an early cross in, or he could have scooped the ball over towards Frimpong on the far side. Instead, he hesitates, he takes that extra moment, and in games like this, that is all it takes. Leeds close him down, he loses the ball, and suddenly we are dealing with a transition going the other way. A promising attack turns into a dangerous moment against us, all because we did not act quickly enough in the final third. Here is another situation where Frimpong and Bradley combine really well in a 2 versus 2 to move the ball down the flank. They do a good job of progressing play and pulling defenders out wide. From there, the ball eventually comes back to Gravenberch at the edge of the box. Now, look at how many options he has in this moment. He could have played a simple pass into Szoboszlai, switch the play out to Robertson on the other side, or even tried to cross it towards Wirtz, who was making a good run into the area. Instead, he decides to take a shot from distance. It is an easy block for the defender, and once again a promising attack ends without us really asking any serious questions. In another moment, you can see how the players shape up really well to play the up, back, and through pattern. It is worked brilliantly between Jones, Hugo, and Szoboszlai, with quick passes and good movement that actually opens things up for a second. This is where it breaks down though. Wirtz gets on the ball, and to be fair, we can all agree he was not at his best in this game. In this situation, he could have done a lot better. Instead of keeping the move alive, he ends up losing the ball, and once again, a good attacking pattern goes to waste. Now, you can probably see what we are talking about. In the first half, the players were actually well set up to move the ball into the final third. The patterns of play were there, the quick combinations were there. The understanding between the players allowed us to progress the ball and reach Leeds' defensive third with some consistency. For large parts of the half, we were in control and we managed to break into their block multiple times. The real problem started once we came up against their settled block. In those moments, the decision-making from some of our players was simply not good enough. And to be honest, the execution was even worse. It almost felt like every player, apart from Hugo and Jones, had some kind of mental block that stopped them from expressing themselves or carrying out their actions properly. Because of that, we stopped taking risks in the final third. We were not playing those brave passes. No flicks, no scoop balls, nothing to surprise Leeds and bring a bit of spark against a stubborn low block. This made it very easy for Leeds to force us out wide again and again, pushing us towards the touchline and into much less dangerous areas. And as you can see from our final third passing map, we just could not find a way to hurt them through the middle. Now, do not get us wrong here. You might think we are blaming the players and trying to take the pressure off Slot, but that is not the case. That second half was dreadful to watch, and a big reason for that is because everything we talked about earlier simply disappeared. At one point, it even felt like the Jones, Wirtz, and Ekitike trio, who started the game close together like we discussed, slowly drifted away from each other. As that happened, the whole dynamic was lost. That part is on Slot. And the players not even maintaining a decent level of performance is also on the manager. This is not the first time we have seen this either. We have had games where we look good in one half and then absolutely atrocious in the next. The PSV game is a clear example of that. So to wrap this up, that Leeds draw feels frustrating, but it also tells us a lot about where this team is right now. There are problems, no doubt about it, and some of them are serious. But there are also signs that things can improve if the right changes are made. The first half was not flawless, absolutely not, but it also showed us that this team can control games, move the ball well, and get into good areas. The issue is turning those moments into real danger and goals, and what's worse is that it has been a recurring theme under Slot. Facing low blocks is a nightmare. For us, the biggest takeaway is still the same. When we get into the final third, we hesitate too much. The players overthink, the simple options disappear, and we end up making the wrong decision or no decision at all. Against a low block like Leeds, that is exactly what the opponent wants. They stay compact, they push us wide, and they wait for mistakes. And too often we give them exactly that. This is where Slot has a big job on his hands. He needs to make sure these patterns we see in the first half do not vanish after the break. The players need clearer roles, more confidence, and the freedom to take risks in dangerous areas, because without that, we will keep seeing the same story repeat itself. The season is still long. If we can fix just one of these issues, especially our final third play, the outlook can change quickly. But if we do not, then games like this will keep slipping away from us. Let us know what you think in the comments. Were you as frustrated as we were, or did you see something more positive? And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.